Welcome back, everybody, to the Daily Chronicle. We're going to recap our top 10, count them, 10 tips for working at home. My name's Rodney.
I'm Keith, and this is the hat wearing, hood wearing, more in common Daily Chronicle, where we wear hats and hoods to cover up haircuts because COVID shut everything down. And
I
we
need a
build
haircut.
this we build this chronicle for the girls, for our daughters, to see the journey that we've been on to get wherever we are at the time that they start theirs, and then build some community around it. So, yeah, top 10 tips. Let's rock it out now that we're all a little bit into this whole work from home, most of us, and certainly a quick shout out to all the healthcare workers out there, of course,
All the
and
essential
and
businesses, like,
and I
yeah,
hope everybody's able to get some solace in what's happening in government, who have lost their jobs or on furlough for whatever reason. So tip number one, I'll start it. Routine. Like,
routine.
on a regular basis, COVID aside, like, establish a routine. Just put it on paper, write it down, calendar it, whatever it looks like for you, and work towards achieving that routine so it becomes a regular cadence for you. Number two.
Number two, communication, communicate. Like, this is a life tip, but specifically when you are working in a state where you've got children potentially in your room or in the next room, and there's a loud noise or dogs, and working from home, rooms, whatever it is, like just communicating with the people that you're working with that, hey, there may be a loud noise, there's a baby on my lap. Uh, it helps change the game.
Yeah. So number three, especially right now, this one's more specific to the COVID situation, but just accept it as a new normal. And it may end up being your normal for a long term. But the first thing, like, I know it's frustrating sometimes. It's hard to process. You're not talking to as many people. There are a lot of things that go into that change. Heck, it took me 9 months to adjust when I first started working from home 10 years ago. So just start with accepting that it is what it is, working towards making it better for yourself.
Yeah, and like, this may end, the unintended consequence. This may end up becoming a new norm for a lot of people that can actually do remote work. We'll see.
Yeah.
So the next tip, I think that's five. Am I on five?
You're on four.
I'm on four.
Yeah.
Socialization,
Yeah.
social, socializing. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to say you should be socialist. I'm talking about socializing with people. It's a new state where most of us are limiting our contact with others, and we're staying inside. So thinking about setting up calls with mentors, friends, family, like, and putting them in your day, in your calendar. I use that. I try and start my week with a call with a mentor. It helps me get energy and keep going towards the things I'm trying to accomplish. So just think about what socializing means for you and what you're not getting, and other ways that you might be able to get it.
And if gun, set up lunches, get out there,
Mm,
go have coffee with
mm.
people, right? It's a great opportunity to get into
Gotcha.
five. Like, set boundaries, right? It's hard, and boundaries are a lot of things. It's boundaries with your family, letting them know, like, I have a call right now, I have this right now, and really having that open, back to Rodney's communication. But setting boundaries to whatever it is your space is, or just having the area of boundary between home and work, how that looks for you, having boundaries between home and work, so at the end of the day you can say, okay, this is when I'm shutting off. Now
Yeah,
I'm in my personal space. This is
yeah,
when I have to go back, because one of the hardest things for people to work from home is that personal business bleed, and not starting too early, ending too late, and everything kind of starts bleeding into each other. So establish those boundaries. And there are some cool
num
ways to do
mm,
it, like tip
yeah.
number six.
Which will, yeah, six. Getting dressed. This is one that I don't often follow. I think Keith uses more than me. Actually, I do it.
No,
I'll
I
be
I
in.
never I never get dressed. Like, I
Okay.
wear sweatpants and
Yeah,
a
yeah.
hoodie
I
all
think
day
I
long.
think we both. I mean, we've
Yeah.
been doing this for 8+ years apiece, so we're able to fudge these rules a little bit. Uh, but the getting dressed one, like, it helps with setting a mental boundary of, I'm no longer just at home in my pajamas, and throw on some clothes, maybe what you would have worn to the office, to say I'm in work mode, to tell your brain you're in work mode. For me, it looks like I'm about to go play basketball, and it works for me. But whatever works for you, think about that. It's really the thinking about that mental space you need to be in order to get your most effective work done, so you could be in and out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So yeah,
totally.
that's that tip. What are we on? We're on 7.
7, another boundary, like have a work area, right? And this can be something as simple as if you have a studio apartment and you have a small little desk that you need to put in the corner, or if you need to work at a dining table. If I'm working at a dining table, like take a couple of pictures of your kids, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, your whomever, your dogs, and put them out.
Turtle, your
Put,
turtle,
yeah, put your laptop
your
out
lizard.
and just set that. So at the end of the day, you can take it down and thus establishing this is a cognitive boundary. It is man in a physical way. If you have an office, use your office. Of course, that's the easiest thing to do, but find something in a space and find a way to designate it as
And
your workspace and make
and
it that.
this is one I want to add on to, because Keith, you taught
Yeah.
me this back when we lived together in Chicago. Working in your bed is a bad idea because your
Yes.
brain can't delineate between. So your brain then thinks of your bed as a work spot.
Right.
And I was using my bed to watch movies and play video games and work. So now I don't even have any screens in my bedroom right now, but I
Yeah.
refuse to check emails or anything. And you take that how you will, but it's about that. It's about helping your brain understand the differences between spots, so you
And
don't feel
that helps.
trapped in work all day long, because that's
And it helps
horrible.
you sleep better. And you don't want to be trapped in work while you're sleeping.
Number 8, ESPN V Ocho, acknowledge the situation. There are a lot of themes in this, and this is one of the themes. Like, in order to communicate properly what's going on, you probably need to acknowledge the situation first. And had
Yeah.
we thought about it, we might have put it higher in the list, but hey, we're just doing this kind of run and gun. Uh, Acknowledging the situation and just trying to, I'm not even saying accept it, like acknowledge it. Like, kids are running around upstairs. It sounds like there's a herd of buffalo. I think I hear crying. I don't know if it's laughing. It can be distracting, but I've acknowledged it, and it's kind of helped me deal with the fact that that's going on. And at any moment, they could bust in this door, and I'm okay with it. Like, it's just what it is right now.
And this is one I'll add to because sometimes you have to acknowledge it to the people that you're talking to on the phone. Like, I might need to acknowledge
Yeah.
it to my counterpart. Maybe it's Rodney and say, "Hey, Rodney, I need you to take over this call. I actually had to do this yesterday. We were having a bit of a meltdown situation, and I needed to help. So I tapped my counterpart and say, "Hey, I need you to run this call," knowing that we had that boundary and could work through that, right, and establish
Hmm.
that. So that's part of the acknowledgement.
You're up for number 9.
Yeah, this one's interesting, but I find it works. Think of others in your household as coworkers, especially if you're new to working from home. Like, and if you're a single income family or whatever it may be, there are times where your significant other wants to interrupt, your kids want to interrupt, right? And it when it's your family, it's frustrating. Like, don't you know I'm working? But when you're in an office and you're at a cube, yeah, sometimes we get frustrated when someone comes over, but it's less frustrating because we kind of accept the cubicle environment, or someone coming to your office if your door's open. We accept people interrupting because
Mm.
maybe that's the work culture. We don't want that to bleed. So if you kind of define in your mind the your family as coworkers during the workday, just gives you an opportunity to have a little more forgiveness on that, so you don't get so frustrated, then you don't get into a fight, and then it all becomes this thing, and now you're not doing less work, and you kind of manage it. So
This
it's
one,
just a
this one
big
has
thing.
been life saving for me during this COVID-19. Like, even just working home, like the last few years, because Keith has brought this up before, and this has been game changing for me. So I can vouch for this one because I do it, unlike the clothing one.
Yeah,
Number
it's hard
10,
sometimes.
the last one, embrace the chaos. You take that rascally bear and you're wrestling it, and you're just trying to make it yours. I'm not saying you're loving it, but you just got your arms around it as much as you can and trying to embrace it. Like I said, they could bust in here at any moment and it'll be what it'll be. I might be on the phone with a CEO that I'm trying to pitch a deal to. I might be on the phone with my boss or my boss's boss, or I might just be working on a project. Like, whatever, it can happen, and I just gotta embrace it. And that's for my own mental well being. And it kind of goes back to the last one Keith was talking about. Like, if I think about them as coworkers, and if I embrace the fact that they may need something of me, regardless of what I'm doing for work, I'm just in a better mental state to accept that and maybe put this on pause or put them on pause and say, hey, I need just a moment here, whatever it is. So embrace the chaos. Keith, you want to add anything to that?
No, I just want to say for the girls, I think this one speaks for itself, but for the community, like I would love to know a
Wait,
tip
hold
that
on. Before you do that, I got a bonus tip.
oh,
Wah, wah, wah,
bonus.
wah.
PS.
Coming in at the
PS.
last second with a bonus tip. Get you some active noise canceling headsets. There's actually, I got
Mm,
a pair on Amazon. It was like super, it was under $100. They're not Beats, like they don't have the best voice quality, but the sound quality is good. They fit over the ears, so they physically block some noise. They have software noise canceling, kind of like these AirPod Pros. The first AirPods don't have it. I don't care what you get, like, but get something so you can, like, it helps me lock in. If I need to get into a project or if I need to be into a call and not hearing the herd or dampening the sound of the herd, it's money. It's worth it.
mm.
I mean, it's money because it costs money, but like it's money because it works. So,
Uh,
Keith, do your
yeah.
rec. Do your
So
rec.
the last thing is like, listen, we'd love to hear your tips. Share with each other. Share, like, just put in the feed, like, your top tip to what has helped you adjust, especially if you're new to it. What's something that's helped you adjust? All
Let
right,
us know.
we got to run. All right.
Peace.